因为你有爱，所以我们存在。因为你有爱，人生笑开怀。因为你有爱，所以我们存在。因为你有爱，人生笑开怀。
欢迎全球的观众朋友准时收看《音乐有爱》节目。我们在今天的节目相当的难得，我们为大家请到的是一位不平凡的音乐家，在他的音乐当中流泻出他的和平，还有一种慈悲的精神。非常难得，我们请到的是博士威尔塔托，非常谢谢他来到节目当中，也和我们来介绍的是这本他最畅销的作品《和平饮食》。我们知道这本书在2005年的时候发行了英文版本啊，那在2012年有幸发行了它的中文版啊。你在这个序当中特别的提到，就是说纯素主义啊，比在2005年发行英文版的时候还要更迫切的重要哈。可不可以跟我们谈谈您现在的心情
？Yes, I think it's very urgent now because with every month that passes by, every year that passes by, we find our Earth being more and more severely damaged by animal agriculture. We cut down the rainforests to grow soybeans, to feed to cows and pigs and chickens and factory farm fish. We're overfishing the oceans. We're polluting the water. And if we would move toward a plant-based diet, we would be able to reduce this damage to the environment and also reduce the effects of global climate change, because animal agriculture releases enormous amounts of methane and nitrous oxide and cutting down the rainforest. All these things are causing our climate to destabilize.
我们也要请你来谈一谈啊，从这个纯素主义啊，那么对照这个素食者啊，素食主义的它的一个不同，是在吃的内容里面不同，还有一个在态度上跟心理上，面对这个世界的一些想法上的不同。
Yes, that's a great question. Actually, veganism is different in both ways. The foundational motivation for vegetarianism is unknown. We can be a vegetarian for religious reasons, because it's healthier, because it's cool to be a vegetarian or whatever. But for veganism, the motivation in the definition created by Donald Watson when he coined the word in 1944, is that veganism is a yearning to reduce cruelty and violence and exploitation of animals and other people. So it's also the, in terms of dietary practice, there's no meat or dairy products or eggs or typically honey, anything from an animal. And we also try not to wear things that come from animals like wool or leather, and try not to cause suffering to animals through not buying products that are tested on animals or paying for entertainment that uses animals. The whole idea is to try to live a compassionate and kind life.
我们知道，其实博士您在22岁之前并不是纯素食啊，可不可以谈一谈，就是说在餐桌上的这个暴力啊，和杀生这件事情，大家很难联想在一起，大家很不赞成杀生，可是一到了餐桌上之后，这件事情就仿佛忘记了。所以说，可不可以谈一谈你在22岁之前，你是一个并不是素食主义，而在20岁之后，你却穷尽一生来完成这个使命啊，可不可以跟我们谈谈这一刹那之间的觉悟？
Yes. I was raised in a typical family eating the usual foods, lots of meat, dairy products, and eggs. And I was able to change because I saw an example of other people. When I was 22, I went on a spiritual pilgrimage. I left home and I was meditating a lot. And I was walking. I was trying to get from the east coast of the United States to California, which is about 3,000, it's very far, 3,000 miles. And about halfway in Tennessee, I found a community of people. It was called The Farm, and they were vegetarians. They didn't eat any meat or dairy or eggs, actually. And so seeing that example of so many people thriving on a plant-based diet and hearing about the suffering that animals endure, and hearing about the fact that we call starvation by feeding grains to animals, I just changed right then. And I never ate meat again. But then it took me 5 years. I found out about the cruelty to dairy cows more and to hens for eggs, and so I became a vegan in 1980. And I found that it's very healthy and very wonderful way to live.
，其实我非常佩服你啊，就是说你不只是自己作为一个这个纯素主义者，而且你开始跟你太太探讨说想要看一本书，最后你太太居然鼓励你说写一本书，然后 就一路这样子推广素食走到现在啊。这本书的诞生其实是非常非常重要，而你在其中的那个努力啊，真是让我们非常压抑。可不可以谈谈这一路的历程
Yes. After I became a vegan, I was living in meditation centers quite a bit, in Buddhist meditation centers, and I went to Korea in 1984 as a Zen monk and lived in a monastery there. And I discovered that this way of living, of veganism, is not just a new Western idea, it's actually an ancient Asian idea. And because in Korea, the monastery had been practicing veganism for 700 years. Yeah. No meat, no dairy, no eggs, no wool, silk, or leather. Even mosquitoes, you wouldn't kill them. You try to put them outside. This whole, we were meditating from 3 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night and just sitting. And the mind gets quiet and we get more sensitive to violence. And I realized that as we get more sensitive to violence, that allows us to, our meditation to get deeper. And as our meditation gets deeper and we realize the truth, that we're interconnected with all life, then we realize that to harm another for my own benefit is ridiculous. I'm just harming myself. And that animals have feelings just like we do, and hungry people and future generations are calling out to be respected and loved. And so I realized that I had gone through many years of programming by my culture that reduced my wisdom and my compassion. But by following the spiritual teachings and becoming vegan, I was actually not only becoming happier and more peaceful inside, I was living in a way that would help other people and the world be more peaceful. And so then I realized that as time went on, that actually what veganism is something much more than just health or the environment. It's really about creating a world with a foundation for peace and freedom and justice and equality. And it's the most important thing, I think, for us as human beings to make an effort to understand and to live. So that's why I wrote the World Peace Diet, was to bring this idea to the world.
为什么灵性生活的追求对你来说是这么的重要？很多的人认为灵性生活可能是我们所有的现实生活的问题都已经解决了， 所以我才开始追求我的灵性生活。这时候可能都是中年以后啊，才开始来追求我的灵性生活，因为我什么都有了啊。那你为什么这么年轻就开始了认为灵性生活的重要啊？你甚至也放弃了一般世俗所谓的非常高的像这个教授的这个位置啊，然后高薪，然后你也不去拥有很多的一些这个物质上的一些这个财富，跟着自己的亲爱的妻子哈，在这个拖车上面哈，这个开始做全球的这个演讲这样子的一个工作。可不可以跟我们谈谈灵性生活对于你们来讲，你如何去解释？那为什么会这么重要
？When I left home at the age of 22 and went on a spiritual quest, I was very inspired by the ancient sages of China and India who taught that there is no happiness in just accumulating material things, that real happiness and purpose comes from a spiritual awakening. And ever since then, that's all I've really cared about, you know. And so I got a degree at Berkeley. I was, you know, and I taught college, but it was always within the context of being a spiritual, on the spiritual path. And so when at a certain point, I felt that it was no longer good to stay within the institution, to go out of the institution and bring the teachings to the world. And when I began to see more deeply the importance of spreading a message of compassion for animals and of seeing the interconnectedness of all life, then I felt that the most important thing is to write a book and then to bring this message to the world, even though the world in many ways does not want to hear this message. but that's part of the challenge, is to bring it in a way that people can hear it and then actually be willing to make positive changes in their lives.
Yeah.
– 其实你这本书里面有提到很多的观念呢，其实是对于很多的这种极大的商业利益，不管是畜牧业者啦、渔业者啊，这些他们是非常大的一个挑战。 那你在推广这些想法的时候，你会碰到什么样的困难？有受到一些这样的一些阻碍或危险吗
？Actually, no. I think that one of the most important things to do in spreading the message is to always appeal to the highest and best in people. And so as we travel around, we're focusing primarily on the truth that compassion for animals and caring for the earth will create a world that's better for everyone. And we in no way criticize farmers or ranchers. The whole system has been going for thousands of years, and we're all born into it. So there's no point in blaming people directly, anything like that. It's just to speak the kinds of truths that everyone agrees that are true. And so even when we go to speak in areas where it's mostly ranchers and farmers that are growing animal foods, and we speak to them, and they come to my talks, they sit, they listen, and they go, "Yeah, you're right." I never get in arguments. People don't argue because it's really nothing you can argue with. I mean, it's true. And then they go back and they think about it. I've gotten emails from some farmers and ranchers and hunters that have gone vegan. They decided, I'm not going to do that anymore. And there's more money to be made in growing organic broccoli, maybe, or something else, and to do something else, because, at the deep level, no one's happy stabbing animals and dominating animals and dominating the earth. And so we just plant the seeds. And as people don't buy that anymore and the demand goes down, there's going to be more of a demand for organic vegetables and grains. And so then somebody has to do that. So we just let it move in that direction.
非常谢谢博士能够来到这个节目当中来，非常谢谢你的音乐。
Thank you.
谢谢博士对人类的贡献，这是非常重要的贡献。Thank you, Doctor.
Okay,
Thank you,
Doctor.
谢谢。